Have you ever thought to yourself, I need to go see the cleaning coach? This is a person that would help you when you get into a slump in your business. And if you did go see the cleaning coach, what would they tell you? We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. On to today's show, the cleaning coach. The cleaning coach is Ilze Whiteman, and she's joining us today as a special guest from the UK. Now, one of the things I love best about Ilze is she's run a house cleaning company for 12 years, and she's empowered people all across the UK because in the United States, we have certain ways that we do things, but in the UK, things are done a little bit differently. The houses are a little bit different, and there's a lot of public transportation that they drive to and from their cleaning jobs. And so they're getting on the underground and they're going to flats and apartments where in America, there are lots of homes that are spread out. So we're charging different prices and the exchange rate is different and the way that you service the customers is a little bit different and the expectations are a little bit different. So it's so exciting for me that we have someone from across the pond that's sharing this information with us so that we can get all of our questions answered because there are lots of people joining us on this show that are from the European continent. So this is super exciting to me today that we have Ilze Whiteman joining us. Please help me welcome her, who is and famously known as the cleaning coach.
So firstly, I'm Ilze Whiteman. I'm known now as the cleaning coach, and I started this journey as the coach just from being in other groups and listening and taking notes of people that's just starting out in the cleaning industry, just being taken advantage of, really. So I have been in the cleaning industry for 12 years. I'm based in the UK, so all my knowledge is UK based. And it's for me just about helping people to know their self-worth and to be able to build a very strong foundation for their cleaning business. And just for people to know that it's okay to have a pay rise and it's okay to choose which staff members work for you.
So tell us a little bit about how you transform your business, because I know there are a lot of house cleaning business owners, like you said, that have been misled. They're very discouraged, they're frustrated, they're overwhelmed. How do you transform your business in a way that is meaningful and keeps you going when your oomph has gone?
For me, the changing point came when I changed my thinking. I didn't know I wasn't worth it, and I didn't think I wasn't worth it. I found that out sort of afterwards because for me, it was just fed up with the rat race, the struggle. Having too many customers and then not enough staff in the beginning, and not being able to train my cleaners properly because I wanted them to be me and I wanted them to clean as well as I did because that's what my customers expected. So that transition was very, very hard. And I got to the point where, I didn't want to answer my phone and I didn't want to answer my emails. I just couldn't bear it anymore. And you know what? I was depressed, although I was ashamed to say it at the time and I was struggling. And it just dawned on me that one day a customer phoned and I already didn't have staff. I was just being let down by another two staff members. And I sent some sales letters out and they rang me and said, we'd like you to come clean. Your reputation's really good. And I was like, oh, really? I can't have any more customers. I can't even deal with it. At that time, I was so fed up. I just doubled what I charged. And because I just couldn't take it on in any case because I didn't have the staff. And he said, yes, when can you start? I was absolutely gobsmacked. That solved so many problems because I knew then customers were willing to pay more. It was just my perceived value of my cleaning and what I thought I could charge that was holding me back. And that was making it so much worse to the point that I couldn't pay for genuine cleaners. I couldn't afford decent staff because I believed pay as little as possible because that's all I could afford because my customers were paying me very little. At that stage, I thought earning good money, but I still wasn't earning enough to be able to afford and to treat my staff members with the respect that they deserved. So it literally grew from there, me knowing, well, if one customer says yes, there's others out there and I just have to find them. And I always say to the people in my group that you have to decide what kind of brand you are. There's the sort of Henry brand, which is £80 an hour or 80 sort of pounds. And then you get the Shark brand, which is in the middle, which is about 120. And then you get the Dyson brand. And people have to remember that obviously when you start out, you never sort of start out as the Dyson brand. because you don't have the funding behind you necessarily. However, if you want to be the Dyson brand, you have to do things differently and know your self-worth. But also Dyson spend millions of pounds on marketing. They know there's a brand, there's people out there, there's a market that's going to buy Dyson, which is why they make Dyson. And that's how you need to position your cleaning business, as to attract the right customers and attract the right staff, rather than hiring desperate, taking clients on desperately, and therefore have people that don't value you. You have no self-worth because of that.
Well, you know, that's a really interesting point that you brought up, because there are a lot of house cleaners that are going from a job where they've made, let's say, 12 or 15 pounds per hour, and then they try to go into a house cleaning business and charge more than they've ever made in their entire life. And so it is inside their head, because how do I bridge the gap from not making very much money to making so much more? So, what would you say to those people that on the inside haven't given themselves permission to earn more money per hour?
If you tell a customer, my cleaning service is, say, for instance, worth £20 an hour, if you don't say that with confidence and you believe it, and you never reduce your price because you're saying this is the value, this is what I offer, and it's non-negotiable. If you can just do that with a few customers, you'll automatically build so much more confidence, because people will see the value and believe the value just by how you're sort of saying your value and come across, and to deal with people's, like, the pain points. And the confidence, like I say, will come with the more you do it, the more you will see the value, not just know the value of what you offer.
So, not just say the words, but actually live the fear, to get out there and actually bid the contracts at a higher rate, and then get the practice of doing it with confidence until you get enough people under your belt to build the confidence that backs up the false confidence that you started with.
Yeah. Because it doesn't come naturally, does it? The confidence doesn't come naturally. And there's a lot of people that's introverts. They're like, oh, I'm so shy. And I always say, fake it. Like, you have to fake being confident, and you have to fake it until you make it.
It's interesting that you say that, because there are so many house cleaners that are so fantastic at cleaning and they don't have the people skills. They get out there to bid the contracts. They don't want to look people in the eye. They would rather text than jump on the telephone. There are so many things that are so fearful. How do you break through that fear?
I call it sodded. Having a sodded moment is, or a rocket moment, is literally just deciding. Because, like I say, everything happens in life, happens with a decision's made, and then the action follow. And it's to make that decision and jump on it. Like, literally take charge. You've got the control, and just go and do it. And it is hard and it is fearful, but it's only the way your subconscious mind is trying to stop you, because it's saying, "Oh, that might go wrong." But we always imagine worst case scenario, but worst case scenario never happens. So it's just go for it, because you have nothing to lose apart from your subconscious mind then recognizing, hang on a minute, I put the fear signal out, it didn't work. So, and I want more of that, because you've done it, you've seen results, you're getting great results, and then you're going to learn to get over that fear more easily. And it's just controlling that initial decision and jumping on it straight away, without giving your mind too much sort of a gap to sort of say, don't, because we're afraid.
Well, you brought up something earlier that I want to double back to, because you said when you were in this moment of raising your prices, your customers were asking for you personally because your cleaners were not cleaning like you did. And you were afraid to hire really good help because you wanted them to clean exactly like you did, because that's what the customers expected. So, my question is, in working through this fear, how do you address the issue that I'm the best cleaner and the people that I hire are less interested in cleaning exactly how I clean? How do you get through that fear? Because that's a huge fear for house cleaning businesses all around the world.
You have to train them, you have to train them, you have to train them. And you know what? I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I didn't do it in the beginning. And that's where I struggled. And I know that now. But the more time I spent training them, the more confidence I had, the more confidence they had. And like I say, you have to train them how to turn up, what they need to look like. You have to train them everything. Don't think anything is common knowledge, because what's common knowledge to me isn't common knowledge to the next person. So if you want them to behave a certain way, you have to let them know this is how it works, and not just giving them an employee handbook, unfortunately, you have to go through the employee handbook and discuss these things, but also be a great listener and actually understand where they're coming from as well.
Well, that leads me to my next question because we do hire humans. And there are a lot of humans that are in our business and they have personal problems. They're going through divorces. They have children that misbehave and are called out of school at the last minute. So they need to leave the cleaning job and go get their kid. How do you deal with the real life problems of the people that you've hired?
Well, to be quite honest, is be there for them because we are all human. What you have to ask yourself as a person is how would you want to be treated if you're going through that specific thing? Because a lot of people don't understand until you've actually been through something, you don't really understand what that person is going through. And just, one person might need a bit more help than the other. And you know what? Once again, listen, be there for them. And it sounds a little bit like, oh, I've got to babysit them. But unfortunately, it's not about babysitting. It's just if they know the company culture and the morale is about support, they listen, they're here for us, things just run so much smoother. And this whole transaction of people going through a bad time, they know as well that they're not under pressure to perform to a certain standard only because they're going through this thing that, it's okay to be human. We do all make mistakes. My boss will understand. Obviously, there is boundaries, but just they need to feel valued, listened to, and understood.
I know that you have the Cleaning Coach Academy, and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about that and where our listeners can go to learn more about that and how they can hire you.
The Cleaning Coach Academy was basically came out of design because everybody wants to know how can I craft my ads to get better staff. So the academy was made purely because as a coach, sometimes that they need to know things that they don't necessarily want to know, but they need to know to set the business up for attraction. So it's 4 modules and it's about designing your attraction where you attract customers to you, then designing your income. Make sure that you earn enough before you start taking on the staff so your business is ready and you can handle it better, and then design your dream team. I always teach people we're not hiring people we're not hiring cleaners, we're hiring great people that likes cleaning or that wants to do cleaning. Knowing what you're looking for, making sure that you're ready first, and then designing sort of attraction, the marketing side of things by setting up your lead baits and to automate things. So you're not so busy all the time with everything you need to do. So we can start automating and making things work a little bit smoother to make it easier. And I always say, well, it never becomes easier. You become stronger.
Alrighty, and that is Ilze Whiteman, the cleaning coach. Wow, we learned so much already today. I'm super excited. I'm going to leave links in the show notes so you guys can check her out, find out more about her business, and hire her if you need her help. And then also, if you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. And if we've earned your subscription, don't be afraid to subscribe. That way, every time you log onto YouTube, it will pop up in your feed and you can catch the latest house cleaning tips, tricks, hacks, and information to help you grow your cleaning business. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.